So, how can I achieve of reaching $1 million in my crypto portfolio, right? So, the way to do that is by dollar cost averaging. And basically, what is dollar cost averaging, right? Dollar cost averaging is an approach to purchasing an investment in which the buyer spreads out their purchases so that the total price paid is less affected by market timing. In other words, I'm basically trying to buy the dips on Bitcoin, right? And so, right now, my investment of Bitcoin worth $4,872 has given me a return of 0.37%. Basically, I've gotten a return of $18 with 20 cents. And then the other portfolio position into Ethereum, right? I've invested so far $2,440 into Ethereum, which has given me a negative return of 4.18%. In other words, I'm down $102 with 9 cents on this investment into Ethereum, right? And so what's making me stay motivated into, staying into Ethereum and into, Bitcoin, right? Um, Basically what's making me stay motivated in staying into uh, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum is that if you take a look at this thing called the S&P 500, right? Basically, the S&P 500 gives you an annualized return of 10%, right? Meanwhile, if you look at, at the positive years that Bitcoin has given, right, as a annualized return, right? For example, 2017, Bitcoin gave a positive return of 1,369.03%. Man, then looking at Ethereum's, right? Annualized return, right? Their best year, for example, was in 2017, right? They had a 9,380% return on if Ethereum gave that as an annualized return, right? 2018 it was negative, 2019 negative, right? But you get the point, right? It was more than 10%. Basically, if I had invested way back into either Ethereum or, Bitcoin, right? Back then, if I hadn't, known a little bit more about the crypto space, right? I probably would have made a lot more money, right? Or I guess I would have, yeah, made more money if I'd known about the crypto market back then, right? Back then, I was just, new to all of this. I never knew that money could do this. Like, you just invested and it gives you, a return, just, holding it for the long term, right? Meanwhile, it shows a difference that, if you were to invest into the S&P 500, right? It would just give you an annualized return of 10%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin could give you a crazy return within a year of 300%, 59%. And meanwhile, Ethereum could give you a 90% return, a 300% return, 400% return, right? And so I feel like why do I want to stay more into Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? The reason is because I'm willing to take the risk, right? I feel like I don't want to, I guess you could say like pass away without knowing that okay, I could have made money into the next big thing, and I really missed out on that opportunity when it was literally right in front of me and really easy to start into, right? Um, you know, I'm really new to this, like I've mentioned like multiple times before. Um, you know, I feel like I was back then like not so resourceful with money in a way. I didn't really know what to do with money. I honestly thought you had to just, you honestly had to just work, save up money. When you get old, right, you try to live off that money that you saved up as, you were, younger, right? and then you just, pass away, right? And no, I mean, you could literally invest into, the stock market, the crypto market, right? Obviously, the more money you invest into, right, the better, right? The better the return, right? And so I'm feeling, how do you say? I feel like I'm willing to take the risk, knowing the consequence, right? Because one day, Bitcoin could disappear. Ethereum, I don't think so, right? But that could drastically affect the price or drastically affect how the overall crypto market is viewed as, right? Because a lot of people, are skeptical, right, about the crypto market. And me, right? I'm young, right? I'm willing to take the risk, right? So, like for example, right? I think what is it? My average cost of Ethereum is 2,619. So I got into Ethereum around the 2,600 range, right? So it's obviously not a bad, not a bad spot in when I got into Ethereum, right? And then I got into Bitcoin. I have an average cost of around 58,158.90 cents, right? That's my average cost of Bitcoin. And obviously, I feel like if you take a look at Bitcoin's chart, right? Basically, it's been hovering in this little range around the 58,000 level, right? So basically, I've been, trying to accumulate, and, whenever Bitcoin does bounce in this area, right, around the 57,000 level or the 58,000 level, because I want to accumulate, right, into Bitcoin, knowing that one day, possibly, right, possibly Bitcoin could all of a sudden skyrocket to a crazy number. Now, is that possible? No one really knows. No one, right? But I feel like right now, Bitcoin, right, is hovering in this little range right now, 57, 58. And I feel like if Bitcoin could reach a high by the end of this year, I feel like possibly Bitcoin could reach the high of 70,000 by the end of this year, right? And I'm willing to, hold on to Bitcoin, show you, the journey, how it's been, holding on to Bitcoin, right? And then looking into Ethereum, right? Ethereum, um, right now, look, it's basically hovering in this 2,500 range. But if you take a look back in this little range right here, it's basically hovering in like the 2,500 range, and in the 2,400 range. So I feel like right now where Ethereum is at is, I personally feel like, is a personal good entry point for me to, keep buying into Ethereum in this little tight range that it's at right now. Obviously, it looks like it's having trouble breaking the 9-day moving average, but we'll see if, Ethereum can break that 9-day moving average soon, right? But other than that, that's pretty much it. Basically, my investment of Bitcoin has given me a positive return of $18 with 20 cents. Ethereum has given me a negative return of $102 with 9 cents. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, take care and bye.